Oh, God. Ah, Jesus. The sound. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let me fix that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. That was painful. Apparently, if you update Wavelink, which is the program I use for all of my sound, apparently, if you update it, sometimes it just, stops. And then it stops everything for, stops everything in Streamlabs. It stops outputting anything. Oh, God. Now what do I even do? What I have to basically add everything that I had before. It basically just completely reset. It basically completely reset my software. Can you hear me, Power? Can you hear me all right? What's going on? How are you? How's the sound? Is there sound? Can you hear the words that I am currently speaking, Power? I would like. I'm just gonna fucking message you on Discord. Can you hear? Yes, sound. Okay, good. This is M Thunder. You are Thunder. I know. You are playing the Thunder game. You are in fact playing the Thunder game. That is good though. That's good. Okay, it's good to know that the one thing that I had, or like the one wiki page or Reddit page that I went to, actually had what I needed. So that was really good. Apparently, I had to shut down Wavelink entirely. I had to go into a whole different folder, and I had to rename Wavelink so it like reset itself. And then after it reset itself, surprise, surprise! Look at that! I can now talk. People could hear me. People could hear the things that I have to say. And I mean, I don't have much to say. I got that. Felt it was a little rude to be shut down completely. Oh, God. I swear, whenever Wavelink updates, that's what caused my stream last week to have no sound. Because it's just like, well, congratulations, you updated. Disconnected from Streamlabs, Keck. Okay, well, anyway, we're continuing our investigation. We got Soseki here. He's completely convinced he's going to die, and he has said multiple times that things are haunted. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now about the trial tomorrow being cursed? Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh, I see. That really agitated him. You don't mean that their trial really is cursed somehow? Listen to this guy. Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh God, what do you mean? Please, tell me! Summarize it succinctly, in 16 salient words! No defendant has ever survived a trial in which the Reaper stands for... Oh, nope, that's more than 16, Ryunosuke. That's more than 16 words, what are you doing? He asked for 16 exactly. Yeah, does that make sense though, Soseki? Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words! What? Oh. This is probably for... Okay, well, that was probably for Japanese characters, maybe? I think that would make more sense. But yeah, no, in English, that was ooh, that busted. Beyond all doubt, that was more than 16. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over, the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. Mr. McGilded... What? Precisely. I am impressed, Mr. Sato. You have an eye for detail. Unlike this Ryunosuke guy over here. Hey, I'm right here, bro. Actually, the Chief Lord Justice told us. Mr. Sholmes, surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zeeks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. I don't know. His perfect record just seemingly stopped there. You have some wonderful notions. Sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer. He's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. Why, of course he is. Of course he is. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. What? What on earth do you mean by that? Yeah, what's scary? Like, does he actually drink blood? What's going on here? I need to know. Van Zieks is quite exceptional, man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. That's good. Soseki-san looks like he's gonna cry tears of joy. Yeah, he's twitching. He's twitching even more than he would normally, you know. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial, there is both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of the law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Right. Criminals, and corrupt lawyers for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling upon impostors as witnesses, and so on. By such underhanded means, those who would want to are able to sway the jury. Which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means the wrong verdict can be passed. And sadly is from time to time, my dear madame. It is simply the reality of the situation. And that's alright? That's how it's supposed to be? However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Oh my. Though the adjudication may see them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. Disappear? But how? By all manner of misfortune, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they're suddenly overcome by raging fever. Or maybe it was just a highwayman that done them in. Oh, no, no, no! All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, that is the unfortunate reality of the situation. Isn't that right, Susato? I knew it. I'm a dead dodo, done for, doomed! Yeah, maybe. Listen, man. You might, in fact, be about to die. I'm not a savior here, and I mean, in an alternate universe, McGilda died before the end of the trial. I'm just saying. I mean, I suppose it was the end of the trial for him. Anyway, it wasn't the actual end of the trial. Yeah, he did die though, so you very well may in fact die at some point when I mess up enough clue givings. When you said accursed lodgings before, you referring to your room at Mr. Garadeb's house, I assume? Do you mean say you believe the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain, but I'd only been in London a week before I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take long then. What happened? Everywhere I looked, there were four faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous about going outside. They were always staring at me all the time, from dusk till dawn. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. Oh, you must have been very lonely having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago now. Yeah, why did you choose there? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap. I have so little money it appealed to me straight away. Seriously, look at it. It's all run down, cheapest place you could find. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late. So I told him, If you had something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place. Yeah, well said. But it was true, it was all true. You mean the room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I'm awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. In my waking hours, people are stabbed in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded a killer, thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. No, I just think that's bad luck. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe in me? Really no one at all? To believe? Yes, to believe. To believe. What knowledge do you have for us, Ryunosuke? Mr. Sholmes? Ah, me, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Burya, if you recall. The Burya. Ah, that case! The one with the snake? A snake did appear at one point, yes? At the time, I was a suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. Doesn't sound like me. I usually just name someone and they're carted off to prison. What I want to know is, why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes, you mean... because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow around the victim in a locked room? Well, if you want to put it that way, yeah. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? Yeah, no, he didn't believe us at all, Ryunosuke. He was just like, you are a villain. Here, I'll uncuff you for a little bit while we do a show. And then I'm recuffing you right away. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna grab some chapstick. My lips are killing me. Where is it? There it is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Acolights. I literally keep chapstick at my desk at all times. And this is the one time it wasn't annoying. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. Look at that. Coming all together. Lips chapped. Wait. Well, I mean, I guess they were. I guess they were feeling pretty chapped, but that's not really what I meant. The only things I believe in are those I choose to believe in. So when he was just throwing around accusations willy-nilly, he's just like, yeah, I believe in that. I believe in that 100%. What do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? I make up my own mind about what is to be believed and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances can hang as far as I'm concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is, in the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right! He's right, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! That would be me. Whether or not I can believe myself. What do I believe in? A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. Oh my god. Oh my god, Kazuma. Giving us wisdom from the past because you're totally still alive. Totally still alive. What's up? What's going on? What you thinking? What you guys spoofing about? Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Yeah, why so fast, Holmes? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'll go with you. Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? What? Susato, what the fuck? What? You're refusing your childhood hero? I mean, oh wait, would Shom? Oh wait, was that an offer just to like join him, or was that an offer to pay? I think it was just an offer to join him. How? Wait, how broke are we right now? I feel like we're pretty broke. Mr. Natsume, if you'd like, in the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Oh, wait, why does she not look happy about that? Woo! Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! That is my full title, yes. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in? The defendant, justice, or the truth? How to believe, even? It threw me off my game, man. It threw me off completely. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else. To trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, no, wait. That was Susato. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. And it's imperative that we prove that in court. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Sama-san! I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end, with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. Is your silence a no? As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me, in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was, in many ways, made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got there in the end. Damn it, Joan! Miss Susato, yes? Would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Because I am a complete idiot, and you know this. Absolutely, to both of those statements. As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Hell yeah, Susato is firmly on our side. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind, but it's time to stop looking backwards. Kazuma believed in me, and Mr. Sholmes believes in me now too. So it's time that I learn to believe in myself. Soseki-san has no one, he's all alone, so it's my job to help him, to fight his corner. Tomorrow, in the courtroom, with all the strength I can muster. Whoo, man, oh, this is gonna be crazy. Okay. Next is the trial. Give me the trial, but I would like a save, please. If I could save, that'd be great, yes. That is exactly what I was asking for. Thank you, game. You know what I wanted. You knew what I wanted. Now we'll get out, because I remembered not to click it multiple times. 20th February, 9:23 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may as well be his or her one and only time in court. It could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as a research may seem a little crass. Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right, actually. Good morning! Hi, how are you doing? Mr. Natsume, what's up? Me? Okay. Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. Yeah, they are kind of looking red there. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yeah, I've heard that expression. I never really understood it. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literary? literally, you know, those words. The words that I can totally speak from my mouth. Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume. Yeah. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor. I can't do this. I can't do this. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes? I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Oh, neither did I. Do you know... Sorry, Acolights. Had to yawn. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on her face is just coincidence, then, is it? No, I'm pretty sure that's just her face, Ryunosuke. Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zeeks? Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe, probably. They're here to watch a show. I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yeah, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? Yeah, why are you suddenly, like, here again? Oh my god, I can't stop. I'm sorry. Yep, 2 days ago, heralded his return. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Oh, what a harrowing experience. It was pretty bad. I believe that appearance made even greater waves here than the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they're all speculating various answers. Mundane! Mundane is the most significant saga of the century, has to some of us. Oh, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that is how the papers are describing it. Well, lest we forget the fact that it could spark an international incident, obviously the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. There's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. What is it? Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you! You're the one! Well, you're not wrong. Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper! Yeah, no. That is absolutely... Yeah, he is a Deathbringer. Look at him. Might as well be a Death Eater. Like, if anyone were to follow Voldemort, come on, he just looks like he would. I'm afraid there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Oh, thanks. Thanks for that, Susato. I always love being reminded of how unlucky I am. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive! Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Ah, you got me there, bud. It's true that I'm just a student in New London with little in the ways of skills or luck. Really everything about me right now. Just not great. Not on the up and up. But you, I mean, you decided to take the gamble, I suppose. I promise you this. I will fight for your corner until the bitter end. And I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. I'm just skipping it. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant Miss Mikotabo Esquires. You love using a lot of words, huh? I'm in your debt, forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live. Mr. Natsume, counsel rather than offense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yes. Okay. This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. My second trial against the Reaper. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because this time, I won't let my faith waver. And I'll believe in my client to the last. Just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Well, I mean, he might actually be watching you, or not Kazuma, Ryunosuke. I mean, he's still alive after all. He could just be in the rafters of the building, staring down at all of us. The Old Bailey. 10 a.m. in the Old Bailey. What the fuck is Joan doing here? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. Ha! The Nipponese are truly a fascinating breed. Sorry? What? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago. A mere amateur. Do you have a point there? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try and help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Okay. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Susato-san. After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Ha! That's right. You got rid of my perfect score! Very true, and a most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, and his unfortunate, violent end. Okay, that just looks super suspicious if you say it that way. You look almost glad for it. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. You're both at each other's throats already. It's just what I like to hear. Entertainment, first class seat, me. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Bruh. You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone. Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh. Well, not me. You see, what you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that Mustache Porno did the deed. Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Very well, let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zeeks. Very recently, Great Britain assigned an alliance with the rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. While our country has extended its foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife in the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. I mean, I get it. I get you're rich, man. Do you gotta just, like, throw glass? A knife crime, I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are. Just look at that shallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese. Come on, let's get this over with me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in the Great Chamber. Another one shall make its way here shortly. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand. Okay. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Who is it? Who it be? What the fuck? What the hell? Gregson, you did not see it. You were not there. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yeah, Having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since. What? So they don't even know who he is? They don't know? Comatose, I see, but her life is not in danger. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map. Okay. Oh, okay. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Viwer Road, a wide thoroughfare for the horse-drawn vehicles. I was about to say carriages. It had not been long since it stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Okay. But, luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the hospital's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. The case file's been added. File overview of the case and details. She was found with a knife in her back. Is currently in a hospital. Okay. Can I look at stuff? What of the weapon that was used? Let's, I'm gonna inspect this first. The local map, secondhand book receipt. Oh, okay. And a case. Oh, okay, so both the local map and let's look at the... Oh, okay, I was wondering if this was like a rotatable thing. It is not. Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Olive green, female, stout build, early 20s. Pavement of Briar Road, east side. Raleigh Beat. Who's Raleigh Beat? The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from a single stab wound with a large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Okay. I mean, that's all information we got, but the way it's said, or maybe we need to know the name for later. Okay, what was the weapon? Sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back. So it was a pocket knife. That big thing was starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. The big thing? Wait, how big is this knife? With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose. A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. The jackknife has been entered into the court record. Okay, well, I mean, we're going to look at that real quick. What do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? Yeah, maybe, but we don't know that, Judge. Can I, do I just, have to open it? I guess I just have to open it. Kerthunk. Oh, wow, that's chipped off. Oh, that's interesting. That's fascinating. I wonder what chipped this off. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing. You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susato. I wonder what could have happened to it. Yeah, you don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Oh, dear, I hope not. That sounds terribly painful. I don't know. But it feels like that was an important find. And I think that... Wait, there's something else I can look at? Oh, is this just... Oh, if I click on that, will it just go back? I think it will. Okay, well... Just put that back, I suppose. Nothing really... Nothing else out of the wild. Out of the blue. From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything much worth pitching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, we're looking for some deep-seated resentment toward the victim. I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. This is true. I agree. If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that in totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. Are you an idiot? Oh my god, he just tossed the entire... Bro, you killed someone with that. You just hit someone in the head with a bottle with that. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Yeah. Explain, Gregson. I require an explanation. What'd you do? What'd you see? Witness testimony. Mr. Natsume's arrest. Okay, what about it? As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was unusually light fog. Visibility was regrettably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he'd just bought, he was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Okay. That old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident. Oh, those are in fact books. I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take that photographic picture. God damn. What the hell is wrong with me? I cannot stop yawning. Okay, we need to look at that as soon as possible. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. I don't think that's a cowardly thing. I don't think that's a cowardly thing to not admit defeat. Okay, so I can't actually... Okay, I can't click on anything in there. Okay. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sato? Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, he did. He was there. He did tell us what all had happened. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, just as I was about to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed on the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me, back to my cursed lodgings. Okay. A green overcoat? Well, that's exactly what the woman in this print was wearing. Oh my, a photographic print will color. What will the boy come up with next? The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled from the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Okay. Okay. Cross-examination. Yeah, screw you, Zeeks. Van Zeeks. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was unusually light fog. Okay. What's up? What was interesting about the morning? A light fog. Well, light for London. You could see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though. That's light, is it? Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course. I've read that London is famous for its fog. But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate. I see. At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Sasato-san said that I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that it concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accursed. Okay, you need to calm your fucking tits, bro. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about the victim and the accused. Okay, what else about this? How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend. Because that is what the witnesses of this crime have told us. Yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard. That is correct, ma'am. Then we must hear their we have to hear it. The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary. But, wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen... I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny little island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights. Well, if only I was here for more than 2 days to understand that, Van Zeeks. Are you understanding? Are you understanding that I have not grown up and been raised here? Is that something you're not understanding? I don't think he gets it, guys. Quite! Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness. Which means we really need to hear from those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector. I am taking stock. I need to know. The victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. Okay. What's up? What's up with this one? From behind, you say? Well, that is where the knife was. Ryunosuke. That is... Look, where else was she stabbed? Where... Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. You say this poor woman, Mrs. Green, remains in a critical condition, comatose no less. I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's. I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of the events. Luck is on your client's side, it seems. No. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid. Ryunosuke, you really gotta stop wearing your emotions on your face, man. It's not gonna happen. The accused ran out, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Okay. What about that? Mr. Natsume's belongings? I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene. The books. Yes, the 3 books on the floor. That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. He's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He's managed to close one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there. You mean to say the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust his knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yes. Those being a number of old books he just bought? Yeah, what books were they? Excuse me. I think this is very relevant. The defendant apparently visits a secondhand bookshop on a daily basis. Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. Okay. The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. Okay. Bourbon Books. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. Meerschaum Street, huh? As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road on the opposite end, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Something like this. The local map's information has been updated in the court record. Yeah! We got more information! I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yeah, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being, the location. Yeah, it has to be the location. The crucial detail in what you've just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop. I couldn't agree more. So, where is it exactly? What? Ryunosuke, he literally just told you. He marked it on the map. Are you winding me up, Sunshine? I just explained that. I got the map out and everything. Used bloomin' red ink and drew blokes routes over you. And I distinctly remember you not alone, Counsel. Oh, yes, of course. I must have been so nervous I didn't take it in. The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend. No, not yet. The trial's only just begun after a day. Ryunosuke, I feel like you're not supposed to announce to everyone that you're going to make a blunder. I feel like that's a tactical misplay. Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you look carefully through the court record at this stage. Yes, miss, at once, miss. Sorry I made a mistake, miss. Inspector, continue with your testimony, please. Okay. Should be the last one. Just a matter of working out who the books belong to, and we found the bloke to arrest him. Hold it! Okay, how'd you do that? You asked for the help of the famous detective Herlock Sholmes to locate the defendant, I believe. Well, stuff and nonsense. Sorry? That jack in office, that busybody, just comes and sticks his oar in whether we ask him or not. But, according to what I have here, Mr. Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives. Well, that was nothing to do with me! The lads at the scene must have done it without my permission. Oh, okay. I tell them time and again, whenever something happens, send word to headquarters. Then follow your bloomin' instructions. I see. If that meddler gets his hands on any details, we'll all be reading it in Rance magazine next month. You could bet your last farthing that I'll be in there too, stripped of my hard work on the case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. No, Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That's all the thanks I'll be getting. Inspector, if the man is proving detrimental to the Yard's activities, perhaps I should step in and deal with him. No, don't do that. It appears Inspector Gregson is lost for words. Yeah, the Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously. Anyway, the point is this, that little Japanese bloke's already admitted it. He's admitted those books all over the pavement at the scene were the ones he bought that day. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? God damn. Stop that. Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed? Yes, they're sure to find him guilty. So one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. Oh god. What information do I have? I have the map now. The map, a receipt, for some books that he had purchased. Because this was the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gaboriau, Canterbury Yearnings. Sum of 2 shillings. 2 shillings for 3 books? I feel like that's like really expensive. Shillings were like a lot, weren't they? I still have no idea how much a shilling is actually worth. I don't know. Maybe we can like press him again on something? I don't really think it's going to be about the fog. Let's press him on this again. Okay. Stab from behind. Quiet Zone Inspector handles from the back. She is comatose. Okay. She's been trading at Bart's. So hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started so I could make a statement. Wasn't meant to be. It is a pity. Luck is on our side. No, it's not. He's been very unlucky. You should really not slam your hands down when you have nothing to say, Ryunosuke. Okay. Scattering his belongings. Okay. Man, I'm just not sure. Should I present, like, the book list? What was the number of old books you just bought? Let's just do it one more time, just in case. There's all a photographic print. If only we could see what the books were. If only they let us see what the books were. Oh no. Oh god. I'm not... Yep, he closed an avenue escape we could have taken. Okay. Okay, I mean, I am going to press him a couple more times because I just never know. I never know when something else is going to pop up. He does visit the second one, Old English Literature. Yep, he's trying to learn. Stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. This is true. More about the bookshop in question. Okay. So, I mean, this is just him, like, marking it out for us. Close the here bourbon books. And then it goes down here. And then he went down the road, stabbed her, and literally just walked inside. But, like, if you're by someone who was killed, why would you ever just leave your shit around them? That just looks so suspicious. I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out, yes. Most important point, what happens if I choose the wrong thing here? I feel like it's definitely the bookshop's location. But I want to say something else. I'm thinking, Inspector, that what really makes for a good bookshop is the quality of books that they stock. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. For example, you go to a shop and buy a serialized set of novels, but when you return home, you find to your horror that the 3rd volume is missing. Doesn't bear thinking about, just the sort of thing that really gets my goat. Exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make. Well, now that you two have found common ground in that fascinating scenario, perhaps we might continue with a cross-examination, if you're quite finished, my learned Nipponese friend. Yeah. Man, I have no idea. Wait, what just happened? What just happened, Mr. Naruhodo? Was that you just allowed yourself to be sidetracked? I would strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, let's look through everything. You found the bloke and arrested him. Local map, secondhand book receipt. I don't know what we could present, though. She was found guilty with a knife in her back and currently in hospital. Large knife and a photograph. Man. I'm gonna present, like, I feel like working out who the book's... Let's try presenting it. It's like, hey, those were up. Nope, it's showing me the lives. That it's showing me the lives. Nope, that means I fucked up. So look at you, Castle. I see your trembling hand, your pallid expression, and your perspiring brow. It seems to me that is the damning inconsistency here. Woo! I love getting information wrong. Yes, I do invite it. I do invite it. Oh my. I need to think. Like, what do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed? Yeah, they're sure to find him guilty. So one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. An inconsistent, but like 5 in the afternoon, low fog. Visibility was reasonably good. There was no one else about but the victim and the accused. The victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. Ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Number of old books he just bought. He was just, I have no idea. Like, the only thing I could think of is just to, like, show that he, the only thing I could think of is to show that he, like those weren't the books he got. But I mean, knowing him, those were the books he got, and he actually just dropped them after coming from the store. Oh god. So I mean, there's the light fog. I could see if there's something about the light fog, but I don't think there's anything. The street map, the receipt. What does this say? If name was gleaned from her personal effects, apart from a single stand. From her personal effects, what had her name on it? The map. Oh god. I don't think there's anything about this map that's weird. Like, genuinely, the only thing I could think of is that the names are wrong, but that's just oh god. It has to be. It literally has to be. Which of these did I already do with that? I think I already did old books. So I'll go with who the books belonged to. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's... Maybe? A little bit? Wait, or is that the same thing I just did? No, please! Or was it option 4? Was it option 4? I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, God. He's about to get hanged right away. He's about to be hanged. Oh, no, I did it on the... Oh, God, I'm dumb. I did it on 6 first. Okay, well, I mean, I just got rid of something for no reason. If this is correct. If this is correct, it works. If it's not... Nope. Well, there it goes. Ah, man, I just have no idea. Like... He's on his way home from a bookshop. Secondhand book receipt. Do I have to press it and then present it? I'm not understanding. Defendant plainly visit. Okay, yep, he does do that. Okay. Tell us more about the bookshop, please. Okay, yeah, now he's just gonna mark it on the map. I don't know. I'm not understanding. Why? Why can I no understand? I'm literally going to fucking... I'm literally looking it up. I'm literally... Wait. Okay. Okay. This is literally, this is not correct. It's not correct. Where is this? Okay. Presents. Equals, okay. Equals bookshop. The locals maps have been updated. Oh! 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 Well, apparently I went through this twice and selected the wrong option both times. Literally, okay. Well, that's kind of annoying. Well, apparently, if there's a pressing question that gives you a slight answer, you need to answer it correctly. Otherwise, it's the bookshop's name. Apparently, it's the Mr. Gregson. May I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes. It could be a very important clue. Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. Okay. Yes, please, my lord. Whatever you say. Can men be any more sardonic? Okay, now I only have 2 chances, and I'm pretty sure there are like 5 or 6 more things I have to select. So I'm doing great. I'm doing great. As you can see, my client will totally live by the end of this. From Bourbon Books. Okay. So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it? That's right. That's the closest secondhand bookshop to the accused lodgings. And to get from there back to his room, again, you have to take this route. Right past the very spot where the incident took place. If I could just confirm one point, can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question? Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no. You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector? Well, the thing is, the shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident to collect more stock, I'm told. So we, haven't been able to ask the bloke if the accused visited his shop on the day in question or not. Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it? No recollection. What? He literally said that. According to the statement he made at the time, the accused has no recollection of where he'd been. Of course he doesn't. Oh my god. The bloke clearly has his head in the clouds whenever he's walking about town. He claims he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing and rarely notices the name. I should say the man ought to learn and look where he's going at the very least. This is true, so it's just as I thought then. Is something the matter? Inspector, you may continue with your testimony. Is it just as I thought? Oh, wait. He was on his way home from Bourbon Book. Oh, wait. Does the receipt actually have it now? Examine. Your books. Hey, bud. Hey. Okay, I know it. Hey. Bourbon Books. If I could stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 secondhand books. And you found that in the accused room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. It was not Bourbon Books. It was from a bookshop called Your Books. Your books, I presume? Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it. Bruh, it's your job. In fact, it is the bookshop in which the defendant visited on the day in question, and this receipt proves it. Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. No. I disagree. I mean, after all, I have the street map here, if that might be of help. Oh, yeah, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books... Yep, he would have... Then yes, he would most certainly have passed the place where Mrs. Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed the location at all. Could it be true? My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Absolutely. It absolutely could be right. Factual. Could be right. Inspector Grigson, where is this Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. Is it, like, right next door? Turns out that Your Books is here on the next corner of Mearsham Street going east. The local's map information has been updated in the court record. And there you have it. As you can clearly see now... oh. The shortest distance would be that way still, but he could have gone the other way. My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. To your future career in the circus. You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you. I, didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was come home from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed. He's from Japan, bro. You think he knows the direction? Yes, thank you, Inspector. There wouldn't be any point to go the other way, except for the fact if he didn't know the way. Let me reiterate from my learned if somewhat slow Nipponese friend. Bro, you have like hold on. Is that made of like breakable plastic or breakable glass? Because like, you got shards in your hand now, dude. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Well, Ryunosuke just got fucking shot. As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try. What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now. Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that? Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may have very well decided that Mr. Natsume is guilty. She's absolutely right. We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully. It claims Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from Your Books, but... yeah, no, I'm gonna raise an objective. Yeah. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Okay? Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from Your Books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that... That route is what is commonly referred to as the long way round. Yeah. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take the longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of the crime. No. But, aha, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. Yeah, but that doesn't leave out the... I don't believe that Ryunosuke. Get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of yourself, man. God. I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around the subject. Pray, what say you insightful jurors? Oh, God. But even if that is the case, the defense still... What? Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, shit. They're pissed. Ha! I agree with Lord Van Zeeks, wholeheartedly and in every way. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean... We members of the jury are completely convinced now. Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Oh, God.
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh, God.
Guilty.
Oh, God.
Guilty.
Wow, they are all about this. All guilty, huh? Well, time for us to examine the jury using that age-old... the jury's leaning towards the unanimous. Yep, it is. Now, too bad that we have to ask them their reasoning using our good old-fashioned loophole. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you mean? Just do the same thing you did last time. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of Quarry, not yet willing to give up and die. Yeah, you're not wrong. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. Yeah, why would I not? Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nippo-knees whippersnapper and his unctuous refusal to throw in his alley. Very well, then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Yeah, explain. Explain everything and everything. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. For pity's sake, that little Nippo-knees oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he? If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, well, it can only have been the victim. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind by she? How dreadful. I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books? Yes, nice shop that, but bourbon books? No, not worth a visit. Bruh. What? What was juror number 5's whole thing? With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the victim guilty are all too clear. When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now. Why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Well, first of all... Yeah, this is no time for that, literally. First of all, we have to, like, grill the old dude at the end who literally has no idea what he's talking about. Yep, well, 4 of them at least. Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. Okay. You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination. Yes, my lord. Okay, come on, Ryunosuke. I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe in your capability to do this, Ryunosuke. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to... I'm literally gonna ignore all of you. I'm ignoring all of you. Hey, bud, you doing okay? Do you know what's going on? No, sorry. Fold it, you say? Fold what? No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're talking about. Now, what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking up books in there all afternoon. It would have to have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Ah, yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry, not after the dreadful time I had. What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Did you beat him? No, not yet. I have 2 chances remaining. I have 2 strikes, and I have to go through the entirety of the rest of the trial without making any mistakes. Well, I can make one. I can make one mistake before my client dies. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. Yeah, yes you are. You're quite alright. It sends a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. But I can't help feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. I agree, it's the irrelevance of what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something. We must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruto. Cunningly! Yeah, you're right. Let's listen to the jurors again, carefully. If any of their assertions are at odds, I'll pit them mercilessly against each other. Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other. Let the rivers run red. He admitted it himself. He said the woman in green collapsed before his eyes. The man wouldn't have gone round the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not even in winter. So the poor woman was attacked from behind. I really don't care. Can't we wrap it up? I slipped over that evening. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let's... Court record, please. He slipped on Calabash Road? So it was slippery. It was slippery on that side, but doesn't that mean he would have taken Meerschaum? Calabash Road is where he slipped. One was attacked from behind. Ugh. Well, I mean, honestly, the only ones that kind of make sense are this guy, because he talks about no one going back in winter. And him, who says he slipped on Calabash Road, because you would avoid a road that was icy, but this kind of like doesn't really help me. But these are the only 2 that kind of like go together, so yeah, I will pit them against each other. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. I'm sorry, but as foreman of the jury, I have to object. That's complete nonsense. What? I'm a banker, don't forget, an educated man, and there's no contradiction as far as I can see. Quite so, Mr. Foreman. I will not permit a whimsical attacker. Oh God. Well, there goes one of my chances. Well, crap. Crap. Ah, God. I am going to die. There's Ah! Well, crap. Damn it. Okay, so maybe it's too... Oh, no, wait. For pity's sake, he admitted it. Green collapsed. Wouldn't have gone in winter. Foreman was attacked from behind. Okay, yeah, no. We need to press this guy. A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes. Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. Ah. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids. Oh, I see. That must be very hard. I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing, and if you're late and the word's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supplies, pipes bursting left and right and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dusk till dawn, it is. So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was. What? Another coincidence. That's right, Meersham Street it was. Meersham Street? On the map, Mr. Naruto, there are only 3 named streets. It's the top one. Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please. What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now? Please, sir, come on. Someone's life is on the line. I'll do it then. On the day it happened, I was digging up Meersham Street. You were digging up Meersham Street. If he was digging up Meersham Street, he shouldn't have a reason to go down Meersham Street. Or at least I wouldn't assume. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, it literally, it has to be these two. Yes. These two statements are clearly at odds with one another. At odds, counsel? Explain yourself. Please, don't point. It wasn't me, I swear. Oh, what? I just wanted this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited his bookshop to purchase a number of secondhand books. And on the same day, we know now that there were works being carried out on Meersham Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Meersham Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yeah, you can't argue with that, really, can you? We must have got 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way. So the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings. Yeah, I suppose he must have. I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, but we see now that he had no choice. Yeah! Oh me, oh my, you are correct, sir. Lord Mr. Judge, if I may? Yes? I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we could get to the bottom of what really happened. Innocent. Innocent for me, boys. Excellent. I should have... Oh, God, that was so dumb of me. I should have definitely pressed them both immediately. Who, me? Oh, well, all right then. There's a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in, that's what I say. Woo! 2 for innocent. Let's go. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It's strengthened our position somewhat. Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy, that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. We might be able to tip the balance completely. Yeah, that's exactly what we've got to do. Van Zeeks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal. Ugh. Thank you, counsel. On with the summation examination, please. Yes, my lord. I have to say no guilty at this point, so I can see where this trial goes from here. Poor woman was attacked from behind. Oh, God, wait. There's someone else that I have to pit against each other? Or do I have to press them more? She was stabbed from behind. Green collapsed before his eyes. Let's press you on this. Excuse me, but aren't you... Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yeah, I had a feeling I knew your face. Or the sight of it, anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? I've said it this trial, and I will say it all trials to come. I am, in fact, a banker. The best banker that ever existed. The best banker that's ever banked. And it was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry? Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hatter pegged as criminals. Well, you know, water under the bridge. Now there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around, and the police have been badgering me non-stop. Well, if I could turn back the clock... Well, anyway, I don't know about the hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Thank goodness. Maybe I struggled to change this man's mind, given our awkward story. I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. Yeah, how is he? Yeah, let's just... You're right. You're right that at the time of the incident, the defense admits to having seen someone wearing green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite, that's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nepos man was the disturbing mustache of the culprit. Let's not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. That man is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. Well, if that's lies you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds? I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. I too declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one could possibly have committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really? Couldn't be more simple. The argument is compelling in its all simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you are too kind, my lord. That went well for her. Okay. So it's not 3 or 5 now. Except, wait. Where was it? When did you... That was around 5 o'clock, you say. The same time as the victim was attacked. I don't know anything about the girl who was stabbed, but my dinner's on the table at the same time every day. And for the record, could you please identify the precise location of your fall? Goodness, it was eons ago now. I'm not sure I could remember. It was 3 days ago. Try dredging your memory, please. Oh, well, let me see. It was especially slippery around about... Is it lower? Oh, yes, I remember now. It was just on the corner here. Okay. what happened to you then? Were you alright? Well, you don't get too many people down Calabash Road, you see. So there was no one around when I fell, no one around when I knocked myself out, no one around when I came to again, and no one around when I sneezed. So I picked myself up and went back to my nice warm house where my grandchildren were waiting for me. A sad and lonely picture you paint, sir. You were fortunate not to have frozen to death. Yes, how lucky that he wasn't more seriously injured. True, it sounds like it was very nearly another hospital admission, or worse. Ah, right, one more thing. Were you wearing that same green overcoat on the day in question? Absolutely, it's the only coat I have. It took until this morning to dry out properly. Good job, too, or I'd have nothing to wear here. Oh, so it was you he saw. So count your blessings, I say. Ho ho ho. I suppose we should. This gentleman certainly has a close shave there. He did. You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds. I just need to change 1 more. Just 1 more. Okay. 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 So I'm pretty sure it's the lady who said that... Oh, no, wait. Maybe. Hold on. I need to look at them again. If he said that woman in green collapsed before his eyes, it can only have been the victim. Woman was attacked for... Okay. Let's pit you... Because you were on Calabash Road, and it couldn't have been anyone else, you say? Well then, eat these fucking words, you snobby little punk. Not you, old man. You're cool. You're fine. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6. Whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot. But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we are well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously. Can we really be sure of that, madame? My, whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Oh my! Ugh! My goodness, you mean... That's right. I'm referring, of course, haha, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today? That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me. Sorry, you need a pee? And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. On Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my! Yeah, eat your words. Did you eat them? Have you eaten them yet? You idiot old man, if you hadn't been so daft to be roaming around there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago. And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat? What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days, Is it a crime to slip over on ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? Oh yeah? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any convenience, but... You'd like to change your leading, I presume? Hell yeah, she does. I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty. Thank you. And I would too. What? Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well... Anyway, back to the kind old man guise that I wear on my face. Hell yeah. Everyone but the banker. What have you to say? Oh no, banker and the Joan. The maid. Well, that summation examination is concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The ayes 2, the noes 4. So the noes have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
This is why we got rid of that antiquated bullshit. Anyways. More glass in my hand. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust? Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks? It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Whatever do you mean? Hello? I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 has undoubtedly repaired the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you've excavated, sir. That's right, it took me the whole day and they paid me a merely tuppence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Well, it's 6 feet. 6 feet, because I'm American. And I go, 2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Okay? It's about, yep, it's about 6 foot, about. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. 2 meters? Isn't 2 meters 6 feet? Did he just say to just jump over 6 feet? That can't be right. That can't be right. Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway. We just turned any gentleman folk back the way they came. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town. 2 yard... Hold on. I'm literally going to look this up. 2 yards, 2 feet. It is literally 6 feet. Is it only like... it says 6 feet. Like, was it 6 foot long and like just like really narrow? What's going on? What's going on here? What do you mean? Because that is 6 feet. Is that true? Is it? The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There could be no doubt that on his way back to the lodgings, Mr. Watsume rocked down Briar Road. Crushed in a single sentence. And, old man... Cold man, you can't talk! You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say as I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. What do you mean? You can't prove yours either? Well, I mean, you got the books at the scene of the crime and everything. Order, order, Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself. My lord, if you had such a trenchant argument of your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination? Ha! I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they've been reached, I feel. Hah! Oh my god, his cloak came off. So my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about? My lord. Witness. The prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand. Oh, sweet. So now we can finally interview the witnesses and see what the hell is going on, huh? Bailiff, bring them forward. Next witness. Hell yeah. Do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses. Yeah. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no yes. Afraid that's likely to the prosecution's next witness. Okay. No matter who Van Zeeks brings to stand as witness, no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. Whew, that's like a long time you're willing to go for it. Oh, wow. He looks very... Witnesses, please state your names and occupation for the court. Constable Roy Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. And I'm Mrs. Pete. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife. What's the story here? Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day. No, it was your husband I was talking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from red days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. Oh, God. Ew. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights. Really, just everything. Everything around here is done by them. You need something done? Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard has probably done it, or they will do it in the future. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. Ow. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. Okay, is he? I think mayhaps not. I think mayhaps he was actually sleeping on the job. I'm gonna be... yeah, a man of slumber for sure. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat? That's right, sir, isn't it, Raleigh? Constable Roy Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. What a great witness he's going to be. Okay, very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was our wedding anniversary, and only when we were taking me for a walk. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a local police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Raleigh and I both saw him clear as day. Really? Clear as day, you say? Extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. Their testimony is true. The alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed. It's death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate bechancing! And on your wedding anniversary, too! Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man, and I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a Len Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed, however. This cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witness saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Oh, well. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Yep. Except that man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble, counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Okay. I will attempt to cross-examine against these people. What the witnesses saw. It was our wedding anniversary. Okay, there's no time to change after work. Okay. No time to change after work, you say? What time was it? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even reply. Well, I think you could probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Raleigh looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were headed back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy. Oh no, Raleigh, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you'd finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! And for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without grumble. Side note that the plot of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. Okay, so fighting crime doesn't appear to come to it then. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to beating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts so a lot with being married to a Bobby like me, and I wanted to put my dear wife so much I'll care. Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh. Oh my god. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog in the pavement in front of us. In front of you? Two silhouettes? That's right, they were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume. Yeah, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby? Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There's nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? Hello? Darling? Oh, yeah, that's of course, yeah. There's light fog on the ground. The Briar Road is dead straight. You can see a fairly long way down the pavement. There's a streetlight as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians. Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. B. Are you quite sure of what you've just said? Ah, sir. Yes, sir. There's a cop who spent all day and every day waiting every minute and every second watching the streets. Seriously, my eyes are glued to him. Right? I can't even open my eyes. They're just looking at the streets. As I'm sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Adorable. They're still maintaining there's no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem that must be how it really happened. It's beginning to seem there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, didn't? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed? Okay. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. Scattered something. What do you mean by that? Oh, God. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Oh, God. Excuse me. A burp was trying to force its way up my throat, and was being painful because I was forcing it back down. Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time, but when we got closer, we realized that it was... Didn't we, darling? What was it? What was it again? Huh? You want to answer me? Oh, what? Ah, right. It was some old books. I see, old books. Yes, the cover all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print. Those were the books. That rapping Japanese man did that when he did the deed. Do not. Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him! It was a man in the dock, without question, sir. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose, everything. Any more insults you want to throw in? That's right, he looked down at the poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books to the pavement and ran away. I see. This is tough. They seem as tough as when they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue. Yes, sir. Okay, what's next? We ran straight over course and went for help at a nearby police box. Okay, yep. Was your husband the one who went to fetch help? No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? Answer. What? Yeah, that's right. And I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point, but Bobby's never truly off duty, so I felt like just staying on guard to see. Very laudable, Mr. B. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I said Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance. What do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia to wait the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know. And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of 2 model citizens. Oh, please, you're making us blush. Isn't he, darling? Blush, right? Right. Yes, sir. What Patricia says, sir. And now he's gone. He's gone. Man is passing. He is passing out. Let's move on. Okay, this should be the last one. Definitely that Japanese man. Yep, it definitely... Could you have seen him clear as day? But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas streetlights, would you? We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know. Right. The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you the fog was only light, didn't he? Yeah, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm. Yeah, alright, I'll take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? Isn't that right? Oh, what? Yeah, it was the accused, no mistake. Mustache, hunchback, eyes, mouth, no. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Hatsumi running away from the scene in Briar Road that day. Yeah, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh god, and then what do we do? If Kazuma-sama were here... What are you trying to say? I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else in their testimony. What do you mean, somewhere else? Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that in question won't help. Look, you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts. You might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory is on the day is accurate. Oh, right. Okay. Simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these facts elsewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Because it's a video game, Ryunosuke. Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? Oh, yeah, of course, what is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Is it? Well, out with it. What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything. Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I can tell you the names of every single one I could, every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is? Yeah, what were the books? What were the books? What were the books' names? What were their names? That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will. I really don't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down. But perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene. Why, yes. Could you do that? Wait, 4? 4 books? I thought there were only 3. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby secondhand bookshop on the day in question. After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for some good measure. I am a good policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly. And what was your husband doing at the time? Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard, don't you, my darling? Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you've regaled the court with the tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene? I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was The Picture of Monsieur Somebody or Other, and What's It Yearnings. Then there was, A Meal for Someone, and the last one was definitely The Thingy Something. You see? Yeah, no, that's a couple of holes. Several holes, actually. They were along those lines, I'm quite sure. There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it. Well, what did I tell you? I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling? And, sir... oh my god, he's strapped! He's strapped! Somebody get him! Somebody... What if I did... Power. I was already accused of doing it twice before. If I had done it, I would have been real good at getting away with it the 3rd time. Because I got away with it the first 2 times, okay? Anyone who upsets my Patricia will leave me to answer to me. Will leave me to answer to me. Terrifying. Yeah, she really is. I think it's terrifying how he just decided to wave around a gun like that. That's their entire testimony. I feel like it's definitely a perfect crime. It is a perfect crime. Unfortunately, though, the person we're defending is not a criminal. Otherwise, I would just throw them away on... under the bus. Under the bus. Away and under. Okay. The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Okay, okay, okay. Let me go back. Let me go back. Please, please. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Actually, now that I think about it, what were the books called? Picture of Monsieur, A Meal for Gabrielle, Canterbury Yearnings. But there's only 3. There's only 3, though. Yeah, where the fuck did you find the 4th one? Yeah, okay. So it's definitely the last one. It's definitely... Nope. Let me go all the way through. I can tell you the name of the 4 books he dropped. 4 books, huh? Really weird that, you know? Little weird, considering there are only 3 total books.
Objection.
So, you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right, I remember all of them. The Picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and The Thingagummy Something. I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat, but there's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no, what? What flaw? Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant brought his books, or bought his books. Your books? Yeah, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books. Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. There were only 3. Yep, only 3 books. What you got to say about that? But I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear it. I saw them. No, madame. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh, no. Yeah. What privel are you spouting now, you Nipponese? Oh god, I just fucking love the little jab, the little tiny jab that she did. It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my... One of these days I'll learn to read. That cannot be relied upon, my dear Nipponese friend. What? What do you mean? Yeah, they saw the accused running from the scene. You have no hope of disproving. He did run from the scene, yes. And you've striven to avert attention from that dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan is somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony, in every respect. Oh. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. Bro? But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say there's another print that you've literally just been holding out on me, bro? One that shows the victim's hand. Wow, you really... The Lion's Pride. That looks bitten. What the hell? It's the 4th book. As you will observe. I just love how they keep evidence from me. They're just like, no. See, you're being idiotic right now. You're being such a fucking idiot right now, and I'm just like, wait, why? Well, you see, from this other angle that you had no privy to, it's very clear. It's like, bruh, how am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know that? No. Yep. Shot through the heart again, Ryunosuke. But that's alright, you didn't use your chance. You didn't use up your last chance. There, you see? You see? Look at that. Look, look, look. Yeah, that's rough. Just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. They are the same names. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please. Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it, yearnings? Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Cabrera, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Rolly? The policeman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia's flawless. But there were only 3 books on that receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book, that which is shown in the photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belonged to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. Okay, bro, so fucking give us the rest of the evidence that you have! You subject that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. Yes, please. My pleasure, my lord. Yeah, best be your pleasure, goddammit. You're literally making me look like an idiot out here, man. Second photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident. It specifically shows the victim's hand. 4th book has been entered to the court record. Oh joy. Oh gee, oh joy, oh joy. The prosecution rests. Yeah, you can rest on my balls. Just distinctly. Just totally. The Lion's Pride. This book is like super... Wait. Fire? It's burned? Oh, so you were in the other people's house. The Lion's Pride. Yeah, and it's lion-based too. Yeah, you were in their house. Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt. You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Well, it seems to raise a red flag with me. The cover's badly burnt. Yep. Okay, well, I mean, that's going to be important for later. I don't think there's really anything... Nothing along the spine. Nope, I guess it was just the burn. And we can't examine anything else about that. Okay. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, darling? Yes, Pat! Marry me, Pat! Wait, are you guys not already married? Perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions, should the court waste any more time on this Nepotese travesty. Oh, man. You've heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position. I know, but if I fought back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? Well, I mean, obviously we raise an objection, right?
Objection.
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There's no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say. Are you serious right now, my guy? You literally... Like, we've been over this. We've been over this in the notes. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Yeah. Ha! Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed, for a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. Okay. Bit rude of you. I am, to my own shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruhodo. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, the court will hear you, madame. Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to further pursue? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Yeah. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. It is important. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the new presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. I understand. Understand. I understand, Susato. I got it. And I did look through a bit. Win us one last chance here. I can't let this go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. You can't just fucking let me win, can you? No. What? No. Why would we ever do that? Very well, the defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight to this case, and has hitherto been overlooked. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with the book. Since they said to examine things thoroughly,
Take that!
it's the book. The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. No. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity... Oh god, was that my last chance? You led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yeah, my lord. Sorry, it is Mr. Naruhodo. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means you may very well be on the right track. Totally, yes. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to Okay, well, I mean, it's definitely this fucking place right here. I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! I literally didn't look at any part of the book whatsoever. It's been burnt to a crisp. So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to be doing. Isn't that right, Van Zeeks? Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh. Were I to concede this point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert this fire damage as some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you could ascertain from the fire damage this sorry tome has suffered? Its owner. Yeah, I know who owned it. Because it's not her. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how could you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? Well, that's easy. That would be, John Garadeb. Or Joan Garadeb. It's probably John... Yeah, it's definitely John Garadeb. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. The landlords? And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... Of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty is in this courtroom today. Is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself. Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then. How about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house? I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection.
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused's landlady, you say? You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. I was literally not besmirching her. I was literally just asking her if she knew where the book was from, bro. Literally just like, hey, do you know where this book was? Yeah, hey, do you recognize this book? Like, was this book part of... You're besmirching her name! I can't believe you do that to... What a fucking white knight, bro. Van Zeeks. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Right to say it was, happened in the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke, couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. The bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. Yeah, you did lose it, didn't you? Oh, you mad now, ain't you? You mad now, Zeeks. The Lion's Pride. My Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate. Oh, dear me.
Objection.
Yeah, and what of it? This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. Okay? But literally, how do you explain the burn marks? And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames. Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly? As you fucking yank his scarf. Come on. Come on, be a decent person. Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would have a as a figure against me. I highly doubt that. A little bit. But yeah, see, look. And all my favorite old novels in that case. Wait. Had all my favorite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. Then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, back against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary books coming 10 to a dozen. The man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime? No, no. No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted at the very evening of the incident, and there's no report of the Gyarados window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Gyarados household. But it's not conceivable that the window was open at the time, and not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accommodates it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. You really, bro? Even for a fucking fire? Does the defense postulate this scenario at all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book was found at the scene was a flaming projectile flown by Mr. Gyarados' wife? Yeah, I do. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. A distinct possibility. That's quite enough. Who's saying it? Who's saying it? Oh, it's her. Well, I hope that everyone can see what you are now, you foreign little trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little tip set the whole neighborhood alight. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert the attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly inconceivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to this Nipponese spouting about his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a mustache, and he ran away from the scene too. I do declare you're right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Sorry, what's that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks? Down with the evil. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... Ooh, he put his foot up. If books are your predilection, my learned friends, study them on your own time. Okay, I mean, that's cool. Hold on, I'm gonna check something real quick. No forgive, no discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defense capability
Guilty.
for the court to hear. Well.
Guilty.
Ah, shit.
Guilty.
Ah, crap.
Guilty.
Ah, damn.
Guilty.
Ah, nards. They all said guilty. They all said guilty. What am I to do? Another examination, probably? Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up. Mr. Sato? Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting... Of course! The defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You can still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. Ha! Again with these shits? You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. It's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. That is... Hold on. That's actually, like, really, really nice. Oh, God. Oh, God. What did I just do? I don't... Nope. What the actual hell? I don't know why that happened, but I wanted to take a screenshot of the boy here. There we go. Listen. I'm gonna use this as a thumbnail. Okay, it's going to be a thumbnail eventually, and I you know, it's a good quote. It's a good quote. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. And I think that's a good preamble for life. Because life kind of sucks. Just in general. Most things about it. But every so often you get a kernel of happiness, and you just gotta focus on those. Just gotta focus on the good things. Because if you only look at the dark things, hey man, you're only ever going to see the dark things. It's just like Uncle Iroh said. Wait, what was the quote? It was like, if you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, it's all you'll ever see. And Uncle Iroh kind of got a point. He kind of got a point, I got to admit. He is the GOAT, after all. We all admit this. We all know this. Uncle Iroh is, in fact, the GOAT. That said, Acolytes, I am going to call it here. This is a pretty good place to stop. The next time we play Ace Attorney, we'll finish this trial up and ideally start on the next one a little bit, because it does seem like it takes about 2 or 3 streams to do a case. Well, I mean, especially this one, since it had so much before the case itself. But either way, I will talk to you all later. Hope you have a good night, and as always, do your best to be kind. Or, at the very least, don't be an ass. If someone's having a bad day, don't put them down for it. There's no reason to. If someone's having a good day, just I don't know, pat them on the back. Or, at the very least, say nothing. It's always an option. Saying nothing is, in fact, an option. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.